Hello friends, welcome to all. Myself Vishal Jogidas. Today we will discuss about benefit cost analysis and it is covered in the subject of economics for engineers. Now what is benefit cost analysis? See, this term sometimes used as a cost benefit analysis. So benefit cost analysis and cost benefit analysis both are same. Cost benefit analysis helps the planning authority in making correct investment decisions to achieve optimum resource allocation by maximizing net present value of benefits and cost of the project. Benefit cost analysis displays following characteristics. It involves enumeration, comparison, and evaluation of benefits and cost of the project. So these three methods involve enumeration, comparison, and evaluation. Next, its primary objective is based on achieving net social benefit. So this is the primary objective. Next one is each of the costs and benefits are expressed in terms of common monetary units. This analysis rests on following assumptions. There are two assumptions. One is the money value of cost and benefits represent the real values in the market economy. It means money values will be real values in market economy. And second assumption is there exists full employment in the economy. It means there is no recession or that type of situations. It means full employment is available. So these two are the assumptions we have taken for this. Now steps of benefit cost analysis. First, prepare the blueprint of the project. First we have to prepare blueprint. Then identify the scope of cost and benefits. Next, consideration of appropriate rate of interest for discounting and time taken for analysis. So these two words I have highlighted, rate of interest and time. These two we have to consider in our analysis. Next one is appropriate criteria for investment comparability. We have to find appropriate criteria for this. Next one is projection of constraints and limitations. So these are the steps. Now quantification and valuation of costs and benefits. In case of quantification of cost and benefits, all the relevant items are weighted in the terms of the common denominator, like in terms of any national currency. Use of opportunity cost and prices is also adopted for putting price on each of the cost and benefits. However, every cost and benefits do not have a market price. In these cases, we face some issues regarding valuation. Some of these issues are noted here. Some examples are when cost and benefits do not have market value. Second issue is market imperfections. Next one is changes in price level. Then next one is incorporation of political and social judgment. So these are the issues we can face for this analysis. After carefully going through some of the cases as above, indirect methods are used. Benefit cost is equal to equivalent benefit divided by equivalent cost. So it is equal to B upon I plus C. Now what are the notations where B is equal to total benefits from the project, I is equal to equivalent capital invested by the government, and C is equal to net equivalent cost to the government. Now, what is the decision criteria? The decision criteria is if B upon I plus C is greater than 1, then the project gets accepted. Okay. If B upon I plus C is less than 1, then the project is rejected. And in some case, if it is equal to 1, then there is an indifference between acceptance and rejectance. For equivalent of benefits and cost, present worth, future worth, or annual economic worth method can be used. If expressed in PW method, then we have to write benefit cost is equal to BP upon I plus CP. In terms of FW method, then it is equal to BF upon IF plus CF. And in case of annual equivalence worth method, then it is equal to BA upon IA plus C. So for different methods, notations will be different. Now, factors influencing cost and benefits. First factor is tax, because tax slabs are changes every year, in every financial years. It means it is a variable. Then second thing is unemployment. It is also the factor that influencing cost and benefits. Next one is collective goods, and next one is intangibles. So these are the factors, they make influencing the cost and benefits. Now, critical appraisal of cost benefit analysis. Although this analysis helps in rejecting inferior projects by emphasizing quantitative figures, still it comes to some limitations. The limitations are related to assessment of cost and benefits, then uncertainty, problem of opportunity case, non-market economy, legal constraints, and some administrative constraints. So these are the limitations of cost benefit analysis. The biggest limitation of this method is overemphasis of quantifying cost and benefits and ignorance of non-monetary effectiveness. So these are the biggest limitation of benefit cost analysis. Thank you. Hello friends, welcome to all. Myself Vishal Jogidas. Today we will discuss about rate of return method for analysis, and this is covered in the subject of economics for engineers. Now, introduction. The rate of return of a cash flow pattern is the interest rate at which the present worth of that cash flow pattern reduces to 0. In this method of comparison, the rate of return for each alternative is computed. Then the alternative which has the highest rate of return is selected as the best alternative. In this type of analysis, the expenditures are always assigned with a negative sign, and the revenues or cash inflows are assigned with a positive sign. A generalized case flow diagram to demonstrate the rate of return method of comparison is given here. Here we can see principal amount P, then every year there is a rate of return R1, R2, R3 up to Rj, and there is a some amount at last. So this is the case flow diagram. In the above case flow diagram, P represents an initial investment. Rj is the net revenue at the end of the jth year, and S the salvage value at the end of the nth year. The first step is to find the net present worth of the cash flow diagram using the following expressions at the given interest rate of I. So this is the formula: present worth at a rate of interest small I is equal to minus P plus R1 into 1 plus I raised to 1 plus R2 into 1 plus I raised to 2 plus up to plus Rj upon 1 plus I raised to j plus up to plus Rn upon 1 plus I raised to n plus S upon 1 plus I raised to n. So this is the formula for calculating present worth amount. Now the above function is to be evaluated for different values of I until the present worth function reduces to 0, as shown in figure 2. Okay, this is the figure. In the figure, the present worth goes on decreasing when the interest rate is increased. So here we can see in x-axis there is interest rate, and in y-axis there is a present worth. So present worth goes on decreasing. We can see this. The value of I at which the present worth curve cuts the x-axis is the rate of return of the given proposal or project. So here we can see there is a cut of x-axis. So it is the rate of return. It will be very difficult to find the exact value of I at which the present worth function reduces to 0. So one has to start with an intuitive value of I and check whether the present worth function is positive. So increase the value of I until present worth becomes negative. Then the rate of return is determined by interpolation method in the range of values of I for which sign of the present worth function changes from positive to negative. So in this figure we can see above the x-axis there is a present worth is positive, and after the rate of return present worth will going into negative. Now we will see this method with an example. Example is, a company is trying to diversify its businesses in a new product line. The life of the project is 10 years with no salvage value at the end of its life. The initial outlay of the project is 20 lakh. The annual net profit is 3,50,000 rupees. Find the rate of return for the new business. Now, first of all, we will see the data given in the example. Life of the project line N is equal to 10 years. Then initial outlay is 20 lakh. Annual net profit is given 3,50,000, and scrap value after 10 years is 0. It means in this there is a salvage value is given, no salvage value is given. The cash flow diagram for this situation is shown in figure. First we can see this, there is a 20 lakh principal amount, and return from this 20 lakh is every year there is a 3,50,000 return, and it is up to 10 years. So this is given in the cash flow diagram. Now the formula for the net present worth function of the situation is, we have to put first value is in minus 20 lakh plus 3,50,000 for 10 years. Okay. Now first we will take interest rate is equal to 10% and then find the present worth amount. So by putting the value of I 10%, we get 1,50,610. So the value is positive. Okay. Now we have to find the value that is goes from positive to negative. So we have to increase the interest rate now. First we have to take it is 10%. Now we will take it as a 12% and finding the present worth amount. So answer will be minus 22,430. So it is a negative value. It means the interest rate will be in between 10% to 12%. But if we observe the result, we can say that the negative value is very small. It is only 22,430. So we can say that the interest rate will be near to 12%. Now from this formula, I is equal to 10% plus, by putting the values finding above in this formula, we get the interest rate is equal to 11.74%. So it is near to 12%. Therefore, the rate of return of the new product line will be 11.74%. So this way we can find the rate of return. Reference is taken from book Engineering Economics by R. Paneerselvam, PHI Learning Private Limited, New Delhi. Thank you.